At Thanksgiving, my sister looked me dead in the eye and said, "You can pay for everything, but you'll always be the family disappointment." My dad just kept pouring wine. My aunt changed the topic like it was normal. I laughed, quietly canceled the Black Friday shopping cards I'd loaded with $5,000 each. They were still wrapped in envelopes by the door. On my way out, I dropped them in a homeless shelter donation box. By Christmas, I heard they'd all spent the weekend fighting over who lost them. I slept just fine. You always act like you're doing us a favor, Nate, but no one asked you to play savior. Jenna's voice snapped across the table like a switchblade. Her wine glass wobbled in her hand, half drained, same as her patience. You throw your money around like it's virtue, like it buys back your place here. I sat still. My fingers rested against the cool rim of my untouched water glass. My plate was cold, turkey congealing in its own gravy. My dad quietly refilled his glass with a long pour of red. "Jenna," Aunt Lorraine said, trying to glide over the tension with fake warmth. She was already dabbing her mouth like we were just arguing over football. "No," Jenna hissed. "Let's stop pretending. He left. He bailed on this family, and now what? Shows up with fancy wine and gift cards like that erases it?" "I pay the mortgage," I said quietly. My words landed like a slap. No volume needed. I kept my tone even, almost bored. "I paid off Dad's dental surgery, Mom's chemo, your second semester at Tulane after you blew through your loan on a goddamn ski trip. But sure, let's talk about who abandoned who." Jenna's jaw locked. Her eyes stayed on me, cold, calculating. "You can pay for everything, Nate," she said. "But you'll always be the family disappointment." My father didn't flinch, just swirled his wine, staring into it like the answers were floating at the bottom. Aunt Lorraine offered a brittle smile and said, "These yams are to die for." Like she was pressing mute on the whole scene. I laughed, not loudly, just once. A single exhale that tasted bitter. Behind the front door, 4 envelopes waited in gold foil, $5,000 gift cards. I'd written their names in my best cursive. "For what you never asked for. Because I love you anyway." I already knew I wasn't handing them out. Who I am. My name is Nate Weston. I'm 27. Software engineer, Seattle. Nice condo. A dog named Ruth after Ruth Bader Ginsburg. No partner, no family I can count on. I was the kid who left, who got out. Not because I thought I was better, because if I stayed, I was going to drown. I've always been the quiet one. The one who figured out how to fix things in the background. Bills, disasters, hospital paperwork. The one who never asked for credit, or space, or air. I didn't cry much as a kid. I just watched my dad drink instead of speak. Watched my sister break things, then cry until someone else cleaned it up. Watched my mom apologize for everyone until she couldn't anymore. And I learned that in this family, being useful was the only way to be seen. But even then, never heard. The cast of blood. Jenna, 30, older sister. Law school dropout turned holistic wellness consultant who charges $200 for breathwork sessions on Instagram Live. Sharp-tongued, always the loudest in the room, never wrong in her own story. Dad, Richard, 61, retired mechanic. Grief hollowed him out after Mom died, filled the gaps with wine and silence, talks to his dog more than to me, still calls me boy like I'm 12. Aunt Lorraine, 58, Mom's sister, overstays every visit, overinserts herself in every conversation, the peacemaker with a superiority complex wrapped in a cardigan. We haven't been a family since my mother passed away. We're just survivors in a shared wreckage. The cracks deepen. You think just because you moved away and started throwing money at us that we owe you something? Jenna shot at me, swirling her wine in slow, agitated circles. "I don't think you owe me anything." I said slowly. But I also don't think I deserve contempt for keeping this family afloat while you play shaman on TikTok. Aunt Lorraine cleared her throat. Okay, she said, fake laughing. Tensions are high. Let's maybe circle back to gratitude. I ignored her, looked straight at Jenna. Who co-signed your car loan? After you tanked your credit? She didn't answer. Who paid for Mom's hospice when insurance capped out and Dad went ghost? Still silence. I felt my fingers twitch under the table, nails digging into my thigh to stay grounded. All of you treat me like a stranger with a checkbook, like I'm trying to buy your love. I wasn't. I just didn't want to watch the house Mom died and fall apart. Jenna leaned forward. You know what hurts? She said. It's not the money. It's the way you show up like you're better, like the rest of us are broken. But you're still the same Nate who cried behind the garage when no one picked him up from baseball practice. You think you're strong now? You're just distant. I'm strong because I had to be. I said, her eyes narrowed. Strong or just numb? That hit harder than I let show because I didn't know anymore. Maybe both. But she wasn't done. And by the way, I saw Mom's will. You weren't written in at all. I had to fight to get your name added. So while you're playing martyr, remember who fought for you behind your back. I blinked, waited, then said, the will was rewritten before Mom died. I handled it. I paid the lawyer. She froze. Her wine glass tipped, spilled a red stain onto the linen tablecloth. What? You never fought for me, I said. You just assumed I'd be cut out, because that's what you would have done. I was 15. The night Mom called me into the kitchen crying. She handed me a check for $1,000. All she had left, said it was for my future. Hide it, she whispered. Your father will drink it. Jenna will ask for it. Just keep it safe. Please. I never cashed it, kept it in a photo frame behind her picture until the ink faded. She was the only one who ever saw me as more than a tool. And even then, she asked me to save everyone else. I stood from the table, pulled out my phone, hit play. The speaker was quiet, but clear. Jenna's voice, recorded 3 nights ago. Nate's loaded. Let's guilt him into covering Christmas. He won't say no. He never does. He's too scared to be alone. The audio ended. No one breathed. You recorded me? She said, horrified. You planned this ambush. I reached into my coat pocket and dropped a flash drive onto the table. There's more, I said. Conversations, texts, all the times you blamed me, mocked me, said I wasn't real family because I left. You're insane, Jenna whispered. No, I said. I'm done. Jenna stood so fast her chair toppled. You're disgusting, she hissed. You think this makes you powerful? You're a traitor. Dad finally looked up. Enough. His voice wasn't loud, but it stopped her. You said he was the disappointment, Dad said, looking at Jenna. But he's the only one who's shown up for this family in years. You owe him more than this. She blinked. You're taking his side? He didn't answer, just looked tired. You all finally hear me now? I said quietly. Or do you need another file? I picked up my coat, my keys, the envelopes by the door. I didn't give them out. I drove straight to the shelter 2 blocks away and dropped them in the donation bin without a word. By the time I got back to my condo, I had 6 missed calls. None from Jenna, 1 from Lorraine. Just checking in. You didn't mean all that, did you? 1 from my dad. Just silence, then a strained, sorry. It wasn't enough. but it was something. On Christmas Eve, I got a voicemail from my cousin Ella. She was laughing. "You'll love this." The family spent the whole weekend tearing each other apart over who lost the envelopes you never gave them. Jenna blamed Lorraine, Lorraine blamed Dad, Dad blamed the mailman. It was chaos. I smiled. I lit a candle for Mom that night, framed that old check again, ink nearly gone, but still there. I didn't feel angry anymore, just free. Maybe that's the gift I never knew I needed. Not revenge, not forgiveness, just air.